Well, good morning, everybody. This is Marty over at Excellence in Education Resource Center in Monrovia, California. And we do have a resource center which includes classes for homeschool students. And today I have the privilege of speaking with Alan Ladner. He is 3/4 of my math department, if you would. He teaches Algebra I, Algebra II, and Geometry. So we'll be talking about Algebra I right now. Alan, how are you doing today?
Doing just fine.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Tell me about your background.
I've taught for 46 years, both in Christian schools and in public schools. I've used a variety of textbooks in Algebra I, and some of them had some very good chapters in them. Some were a little bit lacking. The ones that were lacking, I would take and create some of my own material.
Mm-hmm.
And over a 40-year span, I'm able to put together a number of problems so that I can present the entire course using my own material.
Okay, so the benefit to Algebra I with you, they don't have to buy a textbook.
Right, that's included with the class.
Okay,
And
there's a savings. That's up to $100 savings in some cases. So not a bad deal.
Yeah, those textbooks get pretty pricey.
Pretty heavy too.
Yes. Yes. The material that I put together does follow very closely the California curriculum, the A through G, for those of you who are concerned about that.
Good,
So
good.
When you finish the year, you'll have a very good background in algebra, how to work with functions, how to solve equations, word problems, and of course, lots of graphing in these.
Now, talk about A to G. That's a big hot subject these decade. And what about the student who wants to be a woodworker or a plumber, and he doesn't care about A to G because he's not going to go to a UC college?
Algebra has a lot of basic skills. I do a lot of woodworking myself.
Okay, as your daughter?
As my daughter, yes. For example, we were building a fence around our garage to keep the dogs away from the building. And we get up to a certain point and we wanted to put an angle going across, but it wasn't a 45-degree angle. So we had to measure over using Pythagoras and then a little bit of trigonometry to figure out what angle to put the fence over, and then cut the appropriate framework to build the fence with.
Well, I understand the application, specifically algebra and geometry, I think are life skill math classes.
Yes.
Algebra 2, trig, pre-calc, all that, forget it. 99% of people don't need that stuff, in my opinion, because I believe that the trades is where it's at. And I think that college is overpriced, overrated, and not exactly a very safe place to be sometimes.
That's true. I do agree with you there.
So I want to be sure that the kid who wants to take good life skills, algebra, geometry, that they're not going to get lost in the minutia of A to G intensity, if you would.
Yes. Yeah, what I do in Algebra I, a lot of it has a lot of practical applications.
Good.
And when we do the word problems will involve a lot of those.
Okay. And how do you base your grade on? Typical, you have a test, you get 90% right, you get the A, 80% right, you get the B.
Yes. What we'll do in the classroom is that since we only meet once a week, we'll have a 5 to 10 question quiz each day.
Cool.
So it'll take maybe 5 to 10 minutes.
Perfect.
And my big suggestion is don't worry about your grade. If you learn the material, if you understand the material, the grade is automatic.
I agree. So your work, and at EIE, we work on the concept of mastery.
Yes.
I despise time equals grade.
Right.
And I despise age equals grade.
Right. So
in your 40 years of academic purveyorism, how have your students done? Have they enjoyed the class? Do you have good? like
Yeah,
ability scores from your students?
yes. At the end of the year, many times we have surveys, and students really enjoy the class. Matter of fact, over the 40 years, I've had a number of students come back when I bump into them, either at the mall or someplace else, and they say, "Oh, Mr. Ladner, I remember your algebra class or your geometry class. One of the best times I've had. Your jokes were fine. They enjoyed the class."
I see you have some guests here.
Yes, of course, if you go to a math class, you have to know how to use your calculator.
There you
So,
go.
so this
I
is
love it.
this is calculator, and she has a twin I didn't bring with me, but she's the smart one. She does. She is calculus. 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 Yeah. Now, not everything is directly related to math. Of course, a little bit of science. This would be Sir Isaac Newton. Sir Isaac Newton.
Okay.
And then, of course, there's always Justin Biefer. Everybody likes Justin Biefer. Yeah, yeah. And the one good thing about math is that if you understand math, you're going to get your own cash cow. So this is
exactly right.
Your cash cow. And I heard there may be more. So
well,
if you
I'm looking forward to seeing all your guests come into class. In the last minute or two, give me a good reason they should come to your class. Self-promotion.
Self-promotion. I make every effort to make math enjoyable. It's not just here's a worksheet with 100 equations, solve them, and don't understand. But we'll go through. We'll do lots of problems. We'll do lots of problems together in class. You'll have a chance to work on assignments on your own. But my idea is that you understand the concepts and that you learn. You know, learn is one of those 4-letter words. L-U-R-N. Learn. If you learn, if you learn the material you define, if you don't learn, you'll burn.
Well, students, he's a great teacher. He's got plenty of experience both in the Christian school environment and the public school environment. Did you have any community college adjunct professorship?
Yeah, I did adjunct professor at Vanguard University, where I graduated from. I was there for 11 years, teaching in the undergrad, and then they had a degree completion for adults. The degree completion, in order to graduate from college, you needed to have one class in mathematics.
Okay, at Vanguard.
Yes.
Okay.
And I was the one who taught that. And the first thing I would ask the student, how many of you, this is the last class that you take before you graduate?
Yeah. Okay.
About half their hands go up. It says, if you hate math, if you're afraid of math, you're in the right class.
Very good.
We're going to pull you through. You're going to understand the material, and you're going to do fine.
All right. Well, this is a good introduction. Alan, thank you very much.
Okay.
I appreciate it. I believe that your class will be awesome. And it's offered here at Excellence in Education. Otherwise, you got to go elsewhere for Algebra 1. And I believe the elsewhere Algebra 1 teacher's probably already booked. So let's go for it. And because math is important, it's a requirement of graduation. And I believe you'll have a great time in his class. So until then, y'all have a great weekend, and we'll catch you on the next video.